Part 1, Don't Follow Me. Welcome to the very first episode of your business book, Bestie, the solo audio podcast experience. And yes, I really did title it, Don't Follow Me. Here's why. So a few days ago, I was messaging with a business friend and I complimented her on a recent event that she had pulled off. In response, she said to me, "Girl, I'm just trying to keep up with you." To which I threw my head back and laughed. And I said, no, ma'am, don't follow me because I am not the one to follow, okay? So I shared with my friend that I have this Hello Kitty mug. And you could see it in the promo picture for this episode if I was able to do it right. Now, if you're experiencing this on YouTube, I created a video loop of some hot tea in this mug. And since I'm just now using Substack for the very first time, if I can, I'll also make the mug the photo for this episode so you can see what I'm talking about. But Hello Kitty is in the front looking cute as she does. And on the back, she says, "Don't follow me. I'm lost too." So you might be thinking, DeniseRenee, are you okay? Isn't the point of a podcast to get followers? I hear you, but hold on, okay? Let me cook. So, in reference to my Hello Kitty mug, do I really feel lost? No, no, I don't. But what I do feel like is that I'm marching to the beat of my own drum. And right now, that beat is saying, I am not a guru. So if you're looking for that experience, I'm not the one. I may not be that person that you want to follow everything that I'm doing on social media because I'm a different kind of person. And I have different goals and different ambitions. And I'm willing to do certain things that other people aren't. And that's okay. And while I think it's 100% fine to be inspired by different people, I don't think that we have to feel like everything that they do or say has to be a prescription for what we should do or say. We're all unique. And the things that light us up and the things that we're willing to do are all going to be different, even though to some extent, we're all pursuing a similar goal. And that is, we all want to do work that creates the most meaning for us and the people that we do it for and compensates us generously. And I feel like a lot of the content landscape is filled with, actually littered with the guru type who are just telling you, well, just do things this way and you're going to make $1 million in a week like I did. And let me tell you something. I am not some fantastically brilliant entrepreneur who has it all figured out. And you know what? I'm okay with that. And this podcast, although it's a solo experience, it isn't about me showing off my personal expertise so that I can convince you to hire me as some overpriced consultant. And if I ever become that girl, please slap me back to reality, proverbially, of course, by reminding me of this original episode. Because really what this podcast for me is about having the continuous conversation that runs in my head out loud and letting it evolve organically. And I'm inviting you in to take part with me. I'm not looking to amass an audience to sell to. But I mean, if you want to hire your girl for a project or two and a sale organically happens, I'm not going to run away from that. Right? But honestly, this isn't my intent for this podcast. Instead, I'm really looking to curate a community to grow with. I want to connect with like-minded people, even people with a different perspective, as long as we can conversate respectfully, because you can go argue with your mama, okay? Not with me. But I'm not here to sell you on a fake dream or some hollow motivation. I'm not going to tell you to do this one particular thing and it's going to make you millions in a day, because I haven't accomplished that and I'm not going to fake like I did. Instead, I'm walking the very same road you are, developing a personal brand, creating content, writing books, growing an audience, and I'm openly sharing my journey in a very real world, relatable way. And I'm doing so because you can relate to it. Now, I understand it's important to have people that you look up to and aspire to and strive towards. But sometimes those people can be so far removed from the beginning part of their journey that they just can't relate to where you are. And sometimes you need someone that you can relate to, someone who's on the journey too, or maybe who's one or two steps ahead of you. And that is what your business book bestie is all about. So this first episode here is just me laying bare on the line and you deciding whether I'm for you or not, whether this podcast is for you or not, whether the community I'm looking to build is for you or not. I just ask that you don't skim through this episode or listen halfway. Please give me your full attention. And then you can decide if you want to keep giving it to me after that by investing in future episodes. Fair enough? Part 2. Why I'm not an entrepreneur and will probably never be one, which, Loki, is probably exactly why you want to listen to me. So as I'm recording this episode on Monday, September 1st, 2025, it's Labor Day in the United States. And in the wee hours of this morning, I sent my weekly newsletter to my email subscribers. Subject line, I quit. Since I already invested the time to craft those words, I'll repeat them for you here. No, my subject line is not clickbait. So what exactly am I quitting? Well, earlier this year, I embraced a simple but hard truth about myself. I'm not an entrepreneur. So I've just officially decided to stop pretending I'm one. I don't like the chase. Prospecting is exhausting. Sales conversations feel forced. Truth is, I'm not wired to play this game. It feels dangerous to go against the grain of a culture that glorifies the twin giants, capitalism and entrepreneurialism. But cosplay is costly. The price? My peace and authenticity. So what's my truth? I am a creative who happens to have a business structure just to collect the money and protect my IP, aka intellectual property. The clients I've helped have always come by way of me networking and by referrals. Essentially, people came to me declaring their intent to work with me. I didn't hunt them down. We found each other. But ever since emerging from my 5-year business hiatus in September 2024 until now, I've been going against my own grain, trying to hunt down and harpoon new clients. It's not working for me, and it's time for me to stop the insanity. So here's my shift. I'm going to lean into what does work for me. Over this next year, I'll be focusing on becoming more findable. For me, that means leaning into creating more content, but not just for volume's sake, but for meaning's sake. The reality is, I have a brand right now, not a business. And I've actually loved building that brand over this last year. So I think it's time for me to kick it into high gear. They say when you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, right? So I'm going to see if that's true. I plan on expanding the different types of content I make alongside my educational content on YouTube. So more podcasting, more behind the scenes vlogs, and more cultural commentary at the intersection of writing books and building a brand. My content will have more of my personal voice and lived experiences as the undercurrent. No more posturing like the writing guru you should be hiring for her services. I'll also be increasing the speed with which I write and publish my books. Most importantly, I'll also be focused on staying in better connection with my personal network. Here's a major plot point of my new shift. I won't be actively pursuing new clients. Will I work with people if they find me and ask? If it's a good fit, yes. Otherwise, only thing you'll see me promote is my email list, my books, and my signature digital product, 4 Steps to Start Writing Your Book. How long will this quote-unquote phase last? Well, I'm committing to 1 year. Next September, I'll see what results I've yielded and reevaluate at that time. So, yeah, you see why the title of this episode is Don't Follow Me? I mean, not everybody wants to create content up the wazoo, and not everybody wants to follow someone who doesn't proclaim themselves to be an entrepreneur bro. I mean, well, there's the female thing for one thing, but I'm not a boss babe. I'm just me. I'm a writer. I'm a creator. I'm a strategist. And I love what I do. And I just want to do it at a higher level and help people who want to write their books and grow their brands along the way. Right now, I am exhibiting the most anti-guru behavior ever exhibited in the history of online gurus. Since completing my master's degree in 1996 and starting my professional career, my experiences have woven in and out of secondary and higher educational spaces, corporate America, and entrepreneurial spaces. Each space has its challenges, but boy, entrepreneurship is cutthroat, and people have no problems calling you a wantrepreneur in a heartbeat. And now, 30 years later, I am finally brave enough to admit that I'm not cut out for the entrepreneurship, even though that I find that I must walk, yay, through the valley of the shadow of entrepreneurship in order to create the life I want. And I must fear no evil. Shout out to Psalms 23. The task I share with entrepreneurs is that I've got to grow my brand. To do so, I've got to share compelling stories. Now, as a creative, brand building and storytelling is right up my alley any old way. So I'm just going to be leaning into doing more of that. Successful personal and business brands today let their audience in, behind the scenes, into their process. Connections and opportunities organically develop as a result. But let's be honest, building a personal brand or a thought leadership brand is not just for CEOs and the entrepreneurship bros and boss babes on IG. It's damn near necessary for even the average employee to stand out in a constantly shifting job market. It's oxygen for startups, bootstrap brands, and service providers fighting attention-hungry algorithms and opportunistic AI content creators in the top social platforms. We're all asking ourselves, where do I fit in? How do I stand out? And what's the secret to creating authentic connections in the middle of the madness? Well, I'm figuring that out in real time. And this is the heartbeat of the Your Business Book Bestie podcast. It's not about me telling you my sob story, humble beginnings, and fast forwarding you to the mountaintop snapshot at the end. It's about me authentically sloshing my way through the messy middle in real life, in real time. No filters. Well, maybe one or two. And if you're like me, you respect the mega huge podcasts by creators like Stephen Bartlett, Alex and Layla Hormozi, Cody Sanchez, and Chris Doe. But sometimes you want to hear from someone more relatable. Well, if that's you, like me, then welcome, my friend, to Your Business Book Bestie. That's me, DeniseRenee, by the way. And DeniseRenee is a double first name, not a first and last, by the way. Okay. So if you are building a personal brand, your thought leadership authority, or looking to gain attention for your business, then the Your Business Book Bestie podcasting community is for you. If you want to write books and create content as a part of your brand building strategy, then I'm your people and welcome to my tribe. If you want to have real-time conversations about how this all fits into our current socio-economic, global, post-pandemic, AI is about to go Skynet on us landscape, then you are in the right place. Now, if you want to hear sage advice for someone who's been content marketing and brand building for eons and made multi-million-dollar exits from the brands that they built, then I, with all of my heart, genuinely recommend that you follow Brian Clark's Substack at news.further.net. Now, if you have been in the copywriting community or content marketing community since the early 2000s like I have, baby, you know Brian Clark, okay? The guy who started Copyblogger? Yeah, that guy. I have been a Brian Clark stan since about 2009, and I literally have to hide my wallet every time I open up one of his emails because legit, I always want to buy whatever he's selling. So I highly recommend Brian Clark 10 out of 10. News.further.net. I think he's a perfect person to learn from. He's not pretentious, and he's genuinely going to tell you what is really working right now. And it's built on a foundation of things that have worked over the last 20 years online. Now, if you're looking for some new internet money grifter to lie to you and tell you how buying this master reseller marketing rights course is going to have you making $5,000 days in the next month, I'm not your girl. Simply type in digital marketing into YouTube, and I'm sure you will find several people who would love to sell you their version of that same course that everybody else is selling, and have at it. Have fun. That is for some people, not me. But if you know that building a value-based, trusted brand and creating quality content and books that take strategy and commitment, and you want to build it with a colleague, then you, my friend, are in the right place. Your Business Book Bestie is your podcast, and my new Substack is your tribe. Now, I may not be a guru, but if there's one thing your girl knows how to do, she knows how to write. Okay? I know how to think. I know how to strategize. I know how to teach. I love creating content. Plus, curating engaging conversations. Not to mention, your business book bestie over here has a personality that is a mile wide. And if you don't know, keep listening because you're going to find out real soon. Part 3, what I'll be talking about in this podcast and why you should join in the conversation. Now, if you haven't quite picked up what I've been putting down, let me spell out the topics that I'll be curating conversations around in this podcast. Number 1, personal branding as it relates to employees and entrepreneurs alike. And if you're a side hustler or a content creator, you're welcome into this conversation too. Number 2, writing nonfiction books as an important component of personal branding strategy. Number 3, creating content and developing a community around your personal brand. Number 4, any other culturally relevant happenings that influence those main topics, such as AI, the job landscape, business news, and pop culture developments. And let me just say that while this is a solo audio podcast experience, that doesn't preclude me from occasionally having a guest or two, or maybe even a panel. Who knows? That guest could be you. Because maybe you left a thoughtful comment and I want to flesh out that conversation some more. So when I say I invite you into the conversation, I literally mean it. And as I said at the top of this episode, I'm looking to build a community and create shared meaning, not just broadcast more mindless AI generated or assisted content. My hope with this podcast is that as I share my authentic self, you will feel bold enough to show up that way online too. And I know we don't necessarily get the shine that bigger, flashier creators do, but that's okay. We get to create real community. I'm also taking this podcast, as an opportunity to go a little deeper and share a little bit more intimately than I might share on some of my more educational content that you would see me produce for YouTube or LinkedIn, because this is what being your business book bestie is all about to me. Again, I'm not here to position myself as your guru to quote unquote follow. I'm your colleague walking this book writing, thought leadership, brand building journey right alongside of you. And maybe for some, I might be a few paces ahead. The one huge ask that I have is that please do not be a passive listener. Talk back to me. Well, I mean, don't talk back to me, like talk back to your mama. I mean, conversate with me, right? Comment on my Substack, comment on my YouTube. Let me know what you think. So often I get people telling me offline that the content of mine that they're watching was so helpful to them, or they really start going into a whole conversation about it. And I'm like, I didn't see you throw up a like. I didn't see you leave a comment, nothing. So this is the medium that we have so that I know that what I'm saying is resonating. So please don't be silent. Please leave comments. I respond to everything that's presented respectfully. Any sales pitches, those get deleted or ignored. And anyone who's just being absolutely rude, yeah, they get blocked. But for the most part, I usually get genuine comments and I respond to all of them. So I'm hoping that as this is the start of a new podcast, I really want to encourage dialogue, because you are going to help shape this conversation. I don't want to just be talking to myself. And I know I'm not talking to myself because I know people really listen. So please show me that you're listening, because while I do have topics that I plan on speaking about, I also intend to make whole episodes about the things that you're talking about as well. The questions that you have, your concerns. This is our space. So here's how to connect. I literally just put up a Substack last night, August 31st, 2025. And I'm recording this episode on September 1st, and I'm looking to edit it and post it today. It's probably going to look ugly, but I don't care. It's going up. And as I play around and learn the Substack platform more, things will get prettier as we go along. I also plan on syndicating these episodes to the top 4 major podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and Google Play. And of course, it's going to live on my YouTube channel. Duh. That's like my major home on the web, YouTube. So if you've never subscribed to me on YouTube, you can find me at youtube.com/@writing with DeniseRenee. Also, Connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/writing with DeniseRenee. My DMs over there are open. And then, of course, subscribe here on Substack so you can get notifications in your inbox every time I post a new episode. My Substack handle is at Writing with DeniseRenee, but the podcast name is Your Business Book Bestie. So do all of the things. Subscribe, follow, turn on notifications. Most importantly, engage, leave comments, leave a like, and share, because this isn't about me being a guru. It's about us building something very real together. And if you're writing a book, especially a nonfiction business book, and if you're thinking about writing a book, or maybe you want to write a series of books, particularly nonfiction business books, that's where my work as a writing strategist comes in. I help authors create books that bring the visibility to their business, career, or personal brand. I am so glad that you are here. I'm so glad that you found me. And I'm so glad if you've decided to do this journey together. Let's go.